Before the start of the 19th century, women were considered to have the same status as a child and had no say in who represented them in Parliament.
Have you noticed how bad the roads into town have gotten recently? Horrible! That Mayor Francis Metcalfe is such a fool. My husband disagrees though, so I don't have to say about it.
We're different people. Why do we not have a different say?
Nellie McClung, Emily Howard Stowe, Henrietta Mayer Edwards, Louise McKinney, and Emily Murphy were some of the defining characters in the suffrage movement in Canada from 1870 onwards. The first women in Canada that had the right to vote were the women in Ontario who voted in the municipal elections of 1884. 32 years later, women in the province of Manitoba were allowed to vote in the provincial elections of 1916. 3 years later, at the start of World War I, in the election of 1917, the issue of conscription arose. Robert Borden, who was the Prime Minister at the time, believed that Canada had to issue conscription.
I, Prime Minister Robert Borden, in the year 1917, would like to issue the Wartime Selection Act, allowing women with family in the Army to vote.
2 years after the wartime elections, in 1919, the Act to confer the electoral franchise upon women was passed, which allowed all white women in the country, excluding Quebec, to vote in federal elections from 1921 onwards. Many years later, in 1940, the women in Quebec were given the right to vote. It took until 1951 in Canada, when a law was passed to let Aboriginal women vote. Now, every woman in Canada has the right to vote. The women's right to vote was the first step in becoming recognized as equals, and today women have the same opportunities as men and are not discriminated against.